Hello, my name is Don and welcome to episode 37 of my Motorsport Manager Let's Play with our creator team. Today we're taking on the Tondela Grand Prix. Last episode we took on the Guildford Grand Prix, which was a fairly decent result for us, 2nd and 8th from memory. We're sitting 1st and 4th in the Drivers' Championship, which means we are sitting top of the Constructors, 20 points clear of Ozu and a further 4 points clear to Kruger. Looks like it's going to be a freeway battle for the championship now. Hopefully we can do that. I'm going to start editing this out because a lot of it's just been click and continue. This episode we've got some sponsors to go through and our scouting facility should be here as well. I will go through all that before we get to the race, but it'll probably be just skipping right to the race apart from that, and that will be the continued story for each sort of episode really. Before we get to all that though, we've got a political vote, points for the top 5. We're going to abstain. I'm kind of hoping that it goes against. Not that I think it'll be a big issue for us long term. It looks like it's going to get approved though. Hopefully we get promoted really, but points for the top 5 I don't really like. But that'll be implemented next season if we don't get promoted, so it's top 5 only. But I think that's what we were going into in the higher championship. Anyway, while we're here, we'll go through the sponsors. What's our offer? So we've got first place 1.5 million, first place 1.7 million, or second place for 1 million. I really kind of want to take that 1.5, but first place target is quite difficult, so I think we're going to take the 1 million, and we will be using this one as well because I think we can hit that fairly often. And just like that, our new scouting facility is built. Let's go and have a look at it. So you see, it's just added wings, costing 172,000 a race, but it has added 18 scouting reports to be available to us. All of them unemployed, so let's scout away. Mixed sort of ages as well. I was kind of hoping for them all to be fairly young, but the majority of them are fairly young. Hopefully there'll be some gems in here that we can pick up going forward as well. I won't show you these reports unless I make an offer for someone, but other than that I'm pretty happy just to continue on with this editing out because I don't want to be just click and continue all the time, guys. And it's race day. I missed the sort of end of practice. Basically we hit 10% on each. We're just off the 15%. Slightly rainy session. We need to do this just to get that slightly better. As you see, that was good there, but it went the wrong way when we went that way. 91% against the 93. That was the only little change we made though. We're trying to do a one stop, but that means we have to go into the medium tyre, which isn't as good for our setup because of the gearbox bonuses. Driver style, we're going to go on neutral on both. Connor Chapman's probably going to get sacked if anyone decent comes up as well, partly because having someone at the front of the grid is good, and partly because he's in such regression now he's down to 2-star. So unfortunately for him, that probably means regression. That regression probably means him his job, because I don't want the same situation as we had with Sauerbeck, if I'm honest. Not Sauerbeck, Frankie Kane. Sauerbeck on a charge up to 15th despite being held up at literally every single corner. He could be so much higher here, but as you see he's getting caught up in the pack at every single corner. It's costing him so much time as Chapman's now jumped through him again. We're going to bring it back down to neutral right now. I'm going to try and play the long game here. Chapman up into 12 and 11 sort of battling there, settling in 12 for now, but Sauerbeck had so much more pace on that first lap, and as you see again with Chapman just getting held up in the traffic, it's costing so much time here. Might switch to a 2-stopper actually, if I'm honest, with one of the cars and have a soft stint just to get them some free air. With an early stop, I'm debating if it's worthwhile doing that. Chapman would be the more likely option, maybe if we go another couple of laps. So what we'll do is we'll go attacking on these tyres with Chapman, we'll burn them out. Maybe I should have gone soft and then have a conservative period on the softer tyres and hopefully leapfrog people through pit stops. I think he has to do a 2-stopper anyway. I don't think he can do any more than 8 laps, and he's taken his rear wing off. brilliant, just blooming brilliant. So he can do 8 laps here, which would take us to lap 12. Doesn't quite get to the end of the race. He needs to do another 2 laps there. I'm going to gamble on it anyway. And he's got to drive through. Typical of our season, if I'm honest. Could Sauerbeck make it work? He could, fairly comfortably, so I might switch him onto that strategy and see what he can do, because Chapman's race is obviously now as good as over. But that has been very, very typical of our season. Going through the pack well, have a crash and have a drive-through penalty to boot. So rear wing changed, tyres changed. We will conserve on these tyres and see how we get on. Sauerbeck doing a decent job in 16th, but again not outstanding by any stretch of the imagination. Will probably come in about lap 8. No, we'll go up to lap 9 I think, because if we're going to have to stop again anyway, with this plan of having the free air. Chapman now comes in for his drive through, should still come out not last, which is always handy. Yeah, because he can do what, 10 laps on the softs, can't he? Yeah, so I think maybe I should have gone for the softs and gone for the extra stops here, but we shall see what we can do. We're just pushing right now with Sauerbeck, trying to get whatever we can out of this race. He's up to 11th, but obviously a lot of the cars behind him have already pitted, and he's stuck behind Krantz at present, and he's not really lapping that much faster than Krantz, maybe about just under a second a lap faster. So see how we get on here now that we've got that sort of maybe couple of seconds in front of us, but it's only going to be for a lap or two. We're going to put him onto high on the fuel, as he's going to now try and set a couple of blistering laps on his in laps and make up for lost time. He is doing a good job though. I mean, it might be worthwhile if he can get 14 laps out of these. Let's bring him back down onto neutral. He's up into 5th. If he can do a stop less than everyone else, then he's going to gain through that. So it's worked out okay for us, I guess. As that's a lovely overtake. We did go for the 4th sponsor objective. I decided 100,000 for the 2 places was maybe a gamble worth taking. So yeah, you'll easily get this extra lap out here. Maybe it does have to conserve on the next stint though, because I maybe misjudged it. Yeah, 14 laps. Can we do it? Going to conserve medium fuel. Bring it down just a little bit. Got perfect fuel again with Chapman. He's obviously made 2 stops, so he's miles behind everyone else, but one of those was obviously that drive-through penalty, so he lost a lot of time. Sauerbeck doing a decent job here in 4th right now. We'll come on to the mediums. Should be able to comfortably get the 14 laps off, because obviously we're attacking for a long time there thinking we were going to change strategy, and then I decided against it. I'm going to go back onto medium tyres because I've got a fair amount of confidence that he can make it last this length of time, and we'll go into high fuel mode, just try and eke that last maybe 10th of a second out. A good pit stop for Sauerbeck, and I think we're in very good shape. Zarate obviously on the same strategy might make it work. Of course, the 8-second mistake that I was just talking about that we needed to avoid has came and bit us in the backside. And 8 seconds takes us up to about 13th, so it is actually only 3 places, but 8 seconds is a lot of time on track. Going to push Chapman a little bit. We're trying to conserve his tyres. We need to get to lap 25, so I might back up completely, even though he's running extremely cold right now. Sauerbeck is catching up with 15th here. Nicely done. Need to just maintain the tyre temperatures as well. Obviously Chapman's race is over, so I don't really care too much about him. Let's just try and get something out of him, basically, is what I'm thinking there. But again, it shows how good a team we could be if we had a guy that was at the top of the grid. Sauerbeck coming decent here as well. In 16th place, catching up with 15th, which is Bronlich. I'm trying to see, I don't know who these guys who we're driving against are. We're going to go on at high fuel mode to try and clear Bromwich here. We can do that fairly quickly. Oh, up the inside here. No touching, no touching, no touching. Good driving, Sauerbeck. We can come back down onto neutral fuel and hopefully start pushing forward towards Krantz again. Make up for all that lost time. Chapman has done enough here. We're going to make the last minute call to pit back onto the mediums where he will finish the race. We did pit just in time. No mistake on his pit stop, of course, because his race is already ruined, and that makes logical sense for us to get that. We'll bring him onto neutral fuel mode on the way back out. Hopefully he will be able to maintain the temperatures the same way Sauerbeck is. He is catching up with Krantz at a decent rate, just about half a second quicker on that last lap. Of course, Krantz getting held up by Rogers, I believe, as well. Santana making her second pit stop as well, still ahead of Sauerbeck, which is unfortunate. Going to put him back onto high fuel mode again. He's got plenty of fuel in reserve. I say that, he's actually negative, but if we can push just that little bit, get round Krantz, come back onto medium. It's not actually cost us a huge amount of time here. Car's starting to pit as well, so if we can gain here, this is where we're really looking to make the gains, is on these second pit stops. We're behind Santana, who's made her second stop, and Liao ahead of her as well. So we need to start clearing these cars that have made their second pit stop, and we should be in good shape. I think there was someone else who was on good stop for a one stopper as well. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Zarate, who's actually slightly worse tyre wear than us, so he might have to stop again. We are approaching up against the Predator of Shogunov, and we again are going to do that high fuel mixture, just try and get past them. Chapman now setting the fastest second and third sector of the race. Don't know if it was the fastest lap of the race, I don't know if I missed that. Either way, oh, double overtake by Sauerbeck. We're going to keep him on that high fuel mode just for a little while, just to clear this bunch. He's battling hard. Santa Ana and Liao next up the road for him. They're the two cars that have made their two stops against us already. We're 25 seconds behind the leader. I'm not sure how we're going to compete against that. I'm not sure how long a pit stop is here. 25 seconds maybe seems a bit much of a stretch, but if we can get back into that top four, I will be happy. Chapman obviously doing what he can, but we need to come on to low fuel mode with him because I've completely not paid attention. I've still got him on high. Sauerbeck doing a decent job. He's caught up with Santa Ana, just can't get past against the car on slightly fresher tyres, but he's going to go up there and the outside, gets the inside of the second part of the chicane, and we can bring him back down to neutral fuel now. Cars in the pits. Matt is way too far ahead for us to catch. Gomez should be catchable though. That leaves Zarate and Liao just ahead of us. We're going to go back onto that high fuel mixture. We might need to conserve if we get past these cars, but we'll come back down to medium just now, see if we can make it work. But we're right behind Zarate now. Matt is on the faster tyre though, so I'm not expecting to catch her. Faster tyre and fresher tyre. We're going to have to come down onto conserve on the tyres as well, which isn't ideal when we're battling for second place, which would be £1 million if I'd picked the other sponsorship option that we had, although we've lost a place in the process. Zarate is pitting though, which is interesting to see. Can we get past Leo again? We've got Santa Ana right behind us as well. I'm going to put on a high fuel mixture, see if we can maintain these places. We can't. In fact, we've dropped down a couple, down into 5th, despite gaining a place through the pit stops here. That is not good work from Sauerbeck as the tyres start to cool. Back into 4th though, medium fuel mixture. This feels like a budgeting management time now. We're going to go into low, back up on the tyres though, because we've not got anything else to do. We're back up into 3rd though, as Santa Ana's made a big mistake. She makes another big mistake, so it's similar to Sauerbeck. Couple of mistakes and suddenly you've lost a couple of places. Sauerbeck's doing okay though. We're backing right up on his tyres, so hopefully no more mistakes, but it's more, do we have the race pace now? We're not going to catch Liao. I feel we could have if we'd had more tyre, but we had to conserve when we did. But still, if we can get a podium out of this race, I will be happy. Fuel wise, back up just a little bit as well, just to make sure we've got enough. Back onto medium. I don't want back onto low as we go into this corner. Medium as we come out. We've lost the place trying to balance it, but Sauerbeck does good, gets past him again. He's lost them, the tyres have gone, and that's the main reason for that, so we've not quite managed the podium. 4th place we'll have to do in this race. Fairly happy with that under the circumstances. Chapman back down in 17th, his race was destroyed by himself really. After that I stopped paying attention to him, focused on Sauerbeck and managing him. I feel like if we hadn't have pushed and we'd got that extra lap on those tyres, that'd have been much better. Obviously we lost 8 seconds as well to the pit stop mistakes, so to still come 4th and just miss out on the podium. And again, it would have been quite a comfortable second should we have not had that mistake, I think. So that leaves Connor Chapman dropping down to 5th, no other changes, 24 points, so we've jumped to more points ahead of Kruger and Ozu, who have both lost points against us. How does that leave us in terms? We certainly weren't one of the best teams there, so the chairman's going to be unhappy with our actual performance, so that's disappointing, but he can leave that opinion. It's about the long term gain. We're gaining on the championship rivals. As you see, so Connor Chapman down to a 2-star rating. Didn't even see what the chairman had there, but we've made money again, so that's all good. Supposed to be losing about 800,000 a race with 3 races left to go. We can start actually investing in something, but I'm not going to do that just now. I'm going to say Connor needs to up his game. Not really much else to say on that. And that will end this episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked, a like and subscribe is always appreciated, and I'll hopefully catch you all next time.